Okay, thank you, Megan. The countdown is on. Today, we're going to find out if Minneapolis will host the 2018 Super Bowl. We are up against Indianapolis and New Orleans. And this morning, we do know some details that are in that bid and the fierce fight to win over the team owners. So they'll vote in Minneapolis' favor. Our Steve Patterson is here now.
Joined by the logo. And I'd like to know what you at home think of the logo, too. Feel free, you can email me personally, spatterson@KSTP.TV.
I put it out on Twitter yesterday when it was released, and somebody said it looks like a big brick of ice, which I don't think is probably what they were going for.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Come visit.
Who knows?
Right.
Well, today is that day, Chris. Months of preparation boil down to a 15-minute presentation. And finally, that logo, you know, we kind of have something to go on. Take a look at how it plays. There are people who are saying iceberg. Let's look at it this way, though. With the dramatic music and all, a little sneak peek. Owners will see this today. Yes, that is the North Star. Yes, those are the Northern Lights. And yes, it is unabashedly Minnesotan.
It's bold. It speaks to our DNA in Minnesota.
A new addition to our DNA is going to be the Viking Stadium, of course, which the logo plays up on as well. Now, there's a precedent for the NFL to give a Super Bowl nod to cities with shiny new toys to show off. Kind of an incentive for spending nearly $1 billion to build new stadiums. That is going in our favor. New Orleans, however, they're turning 300.
I know, that
is poorly timed.
That's a big birthday.
For us. That is a big birthday. So anyways, earlier today I was on Twitter. Indianapolis Business Journal said that there was a New Orleans station reporting it's a two-horse race between New Orleans and Minnesota. NFL.com, one of their writers, is saying New Orleans is out to the early lead going into today's final 15-minute presentation. But I chose to ignore that.
Could I play devil's advocate for a moment? That's what I get paid to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Would it be the worst thing in the world if we were to get it in 2019?
It would not. You know, we heard.
I presume the stadium's going to hold up another year.
It will, right? And I think the anticipation is, ooh, you want it now. What would be really great is if that were to happen, if they would say, okay, New Orleans, you get it, but Minnesota, we're already giving it to you in 2019. I think the tough part is that they know there will be another process ahead, a full proposal and a lot of effort. So a lot of people hope not. But you're right.
But again,
if you don't get it, I'd take 2019 over.
I don't want people to be too
never.
disappointed, and you know.
Yeah.
But you keep up your hope.
I am keeping up my hope. And again, email me your thoughts of the logo, the iceberg.
Snagging a Super Bowl. Well, there's no doubt about this, no argument about this. It would bring in a lot of cash. Now, the NFL says whichever city hosts a big game could see upwards of $600 million in additional revenue. Now, some economists say that number is actually much lower once things like tax breaks and extra construction are tallied. Even still, though, no argument about this, it would put the Twin Cities in the national spotlight. More than 111 million people watched this past February's game in New Jersey.
All right, a Super Bowl this far north, though, gents, as you know, comes with its own challenges. It's cold and it's snowy here in winter. There have only been a handful of Super Bowl games in cold weather climates. Those five, count them, 5 of the last 48 Super Bowls were held in Pontiac, Michigan, Minneapolis, Detroit, Indianapolis, and then this past February, of course, New Jersey. In fact, that game at MetLife Stadium was the most northern outdoor Super Bowl in the game's history. So we want to bring Ken Barlow back in and talk a little bit about what our average temperature is like in February, early February, when the Super Bowl is out.
And as you know, we very rarely hit average, but occasionally it does happen. The average temperatures for the end of January, beginning of February, 25 degrees for the high, 9 for the low, and typically in that 7-day stretch, we'll get an inch or two of snow. As far as sunshine is concerned, it is increasing, but we still only get about half of the average 7 days. We only get 4 out of 7 of them, which are sunny. Now, what happened on January 26, 1992?
That was when we last had the Super Bowl. The only other time we've had it.
Yeah, and it was one of the last times in January that we had average temperatures.
Yeah.
The average high was 26. The average low was about 7. There was no snow that day. There was hardly any sun that day. However, the day before and the day before that, so 2 days leading up to the Super Bowl, we had 4 inches of snow. We had 10 inches of snow on the ground, and temperatures were only in the teens. Those were about the only 2 days in all of January that were in the teens, leading right up to the Super Bowl. So I think that's what people remember most, the 10 inches of snow on the ground.
There's been a lot of talk. We've all been talking about this, and while we live it and we embrace winter here, it may be hard to get people from sunny climates, from warm climates, but we do have the Skyway, so you literally can walk from a hotel to, you will be, the new Viking Stadium. You'll be able to walk via Skyway, never go outside.
Right, and you also have the fascination factor. A lot of people have never seen snow. Seriously, a lot of people from the south don't know what snow is.
A lot of people have never felt the inside of their nose freeze when they step outside. You know that feeling.
That's my zero thermometer, when your nostrils freeze.
Yeah.
That's the scientific way I can tell.
I remember that when I got off the plane here. I was like, whoa, what is happening?
What is this?
What is that? Someone told me that's the inside of your nose freezing. And
It's
I thought,
a winter
oh, gosh,
allergy.
Get
That's what
back on.
that is.
Head out. Hey, we do want to let you know that we do have a crew in Atlanta right now for today's decision. As soon as the NFL announces the host city this afternoon, we will, of course, bring it to you live, both online and on air. Chris?